to distance itself in the AFC West. The Raiders and Chargers trying to stay in touch with a victory today as we welcome you to Oakland, California and the Coliseum. And they're excited here about a big play offense that's remindful of the glory Raider days of yesteryear.
Well, they should be excited because this offense is one of the best in the NFL, if not the best. If you play defense for a team that plays against the Oakland Raider offense, you have trouble sleeping the night before the game. Jeff George has found a home that suits his talent, an offense that throws it down the field. They're exciting and they're hard to stop, Dick.
But they haven't been able to stop the opposition, and they come up short at cornerback today.
Yeah, they do. Both their starting corners will not start today. Albert Lewis and Terry McDaniel will not start. Stan Humphries is really getting the grasp of this offense. It was an indication of what it was last week. But I go back 37 years, 80 points were not uncommon in a Charger-Raider game. We may see that today.
Yeah, but you play defense. That explains something, too. So the two quarterbacks are ready to go. Stan Humphries coming off a career high a week ago against Baltimore in the victory. And the man who leads the league in touchdown passes is Jeff George. We now go to New York. The Cardinals, but his first head coaching job here with the Raiders, and Kevin Gilbride, 11 years his junior, his first ever opportunity to head an NFL franchise from Jacksonville, where he was the offensive coordinator. The Raiders won the toss and will receive Greg Davis with the injured John Carney to kick it off. Dangerous Desmond Howard at the other end for the Raiders. End over end takes Howard a step into the end zone. 20. And out of bounds at the 22-yard line. And Jeff George brings the offense on the field. George with the NFL best in terms of passing yards and in touchdowns. #1 offense in the NFL coming into the 6th week of the season. The offensive line of Harlow, the Pro Bowler Wisniewski, Robbins, Holmes, and Kennedy. They're big and getting better. George has Kaufman, one of the top runners in the league. Derek Fenner, the blocker. Jett and Brown, both big threats outside. Brown, 37 catches, and Dudley averaging over 24 yards of reception at tight end. Second-year man from Ohio State. Tim Brown is the go-to man for George. They start from the 22. Screen, throws it to Kaufman, and Kaufman's got some running room. Flags are down. Kaufman out to the 40. Great speed. Finally out of bounds at the San Diego 36-yard line. Make that the 42. He stepped out earlier. Rodney Harrison, 37, getting him out of bounds, and the penalty is against San Diego at the 36-yard play.
Holding. 58 defense. Penalties decline.
Bush, the linebacker.
Well, the San Diego Chargers so worried about getting a pass rush on Jeff George, they just forget everything else. They're disciplined. Look for the screens, run up the middle. First play of the game, you're excited. That's what creates the big hole for Napoleon Kaufman.
Well, the penalty came on Bush, who was holding the tight end as he was coming off the line of scrimmage, and that's what the call was about.
So the Raiders showing that big play power right off the bat. First down at the 42. Reverse action to Harvey Williams, the second tight end, the former running back, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Junior Seau secures the stop. Here are the defensive numbers for the Chargers. Their front four, William Fuller from Philadelphia, Perella, Lee, and Coleman. They've not put a lot of pressure on the opposing passers. Bush, Govea, and the All-Pro Junior Seau, $27 million contract signed this week, an extension. Harper and Shaw at the corners. Rodney Harrison is having a Pro Bowl year at safety, has a couple of defensive touchdowns. Michael Dumas, the other safety. Second and 10.
Well, for the Oakland Raiders, their game plan is this. They can do whatever they want to do with this offense. They're #1. The only way that they're going to slow this team down is if the offensive line does not block for Jeff George, which they've done for the first 5 games, so they have blocked.
Flag down on the play where George released the ball. Ron Blum is our referee.
Intentional grounding, #3 offense.
George had not cleared.
Ball spotted at the spot of the foul.
Had not cleared the offensive tackle.
Yeah, you know, this call sometimes really confuses me. So here's the quarterback. He's not really under pressure. So he doesn't have to, there's nobody really threatening the sacking. He sees nobody's open. So what he does, he throws it away. And so the new rule's got to be, hey, throw it close to somebody when you throw it away. When he's under pressure, doesn't make sense to call a penalty in that situation.
So 3rd down and 23 as the Chargers show blitz. George, lots of time. Now he goes down and fumbles the ball, picked up by the Raiders' Fenner, but the play had been ruled down and dead. So George sacked by John Perella, but he had about 5-6 seconds to find a receiver. Good coverage downfield.
Oh, John Perella, I mean, take a look at the blocking scheme. The offensive line, they're doing exactly what they want. Look at the Chargers. They're all really on the line of scrimmage. George has all the time in the world. If you look where Perella comes from, all the way from the backside.
The Charger corners have done an excellent job of covering people down the field. That was a good case of at that time. A coverage sack, that's what you call it. Giving that defensive line an extra time to get to the quarterback.
Aragoose averaging nearly 45 yards a punt, and at the other end, Eric Metcalf, who has had some big games against the Raiders. Fair catches at the 17-yard line. So the Raiders fail to score. The Chargers will have it at the 17 when we come back. With the ball for the first possession. Parker, Kakuzo, McKenzie in his 100th consecutive game. Davis and Birdie, the offensive line, protecting Stan Humphries. Gary Brown, the former Oiler. The blocker, Gardner from Buffalo. Tony Martin, the big play wide receiver with Charlie Jones. And the tight end is a blocking tight end, Frank Hartley. Humphries throws, and it's incomplete. Well covered by the Raiders. Mike Morton in the thick of the screen. Silver and black defensively align themselves in this way off the start. Front four of Smith with 5.5 sacks. Maryland, McLaughlin, and Johnstone. We'll see a lot of Darrell Russell, the top rookie. Fredrickson, Piekert, and Morton, the backers. Carter and Washington, the new starting cornerbacks, with Trapp and Turner at safety. Up the middle goes Gary Brown. A gain of about 5, make it 6 yards. Piekert made the tackle.
Very simple for the Charger offense. Stan Humphries and their receivers must have a great game in order for them to win.
And you look at this Oakland defense, the most surprising stat coming in today's game, this defense is last in the NFL. With this front four, there's no way, no matter how the defensive backs play, they should be last. The front four for the Raiders today has to play better. Somebody's got to come up and make some big plays.
Backfield empty for Humphries. Metcalf in the game. 5 wide receivers. Terrell Fletcher, one of those, in motion. Incomplete, and he was covered by Eric Turner. 3 and out for the Chargers. Turner, a former Brown, former Raven, second player selected in 1991 after Russell Maryland, now his teammate in the defense for the Raiders. Maryland, of course, picked at the time by Dallas, #1. Darren Bennett, what a leg this Aussie has. It's averaging, as you saw, over 48 yards a punt. Howard stands inside the 25. Wobbly kick toward the sidelines. Not a good kick at all for Bennett. Takes a Raider bounce outside the 40. A flag is down. 36-yard punt if.
There's a penalty flag of the flag.
Jerome Davidson got himself caught up in his blocking.
35 yards.
First-year player from Arizona State, a fullback, and it's holding against the Raiders, so that'll give the Chargers new life, a first down.
Well, it's such a dumb penalty, Dick.
Holding 48
because
of the
the ball isn't
receivers.
even, it's not even receivable.
Foul occurred while the ball was in the air. The penalty is enforced from the end of the run, 10 yards, first down, timeout.
So it's after the ball was kicked, and the holding occurs, so 10 yards from the 42. The Raiders will have it at the 32 when we return. Their 76th meeting. Oakland begins at the 32 after the 10-yard penalty imposed for holding on the punt by Bennett. Tim Brown motions inside, and George sets up, throws underneath for Brown, and a rare juggling miss by the former Heisman winner at Notre Dame. He went over to watch his Irish play at Stanford across the bay yesterday as the Cardinals with the victory.
You talk about a rare miss. I mean, this ball hits Tim Brown in the hands. He's on the dead run. He might have picked up about 10 yards on the play, but should have never dropped that ball.
George again with plenty of time to search out Brown as his receiver. Jet to the right, Brown to the left. The tight end Dudley's on the left side. Center in motion. And an ankle tackle by Kurt Gouveia. Napoleon Kaufman. What a force he has become. 3 straight 100-yard rushing games 3 weeks ago against Atlanta. 14 carries, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then 2 weeks ago against the Jets, Kaufman rushed for a career-high 27 times, gained 126 yards. Then last week against the Rams, 26 rushes, a career-high 162 yards. Kaufman now has 544 yards coming into this game and a 5.4-yard average. 3rd and 10, and flags fly. Sean Lee jump. The big defensive tackle from North Alabama.
Well, a lot of these Charger defensive linemen.
Approachment, 98 defense. 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
If you talked to Kevin Gilbride yesterday, we did, and all they talk about, got to get some pressure from the up front people because you really cannot afford to rush Jeff George. If you blitz him, it singles up the receivers down the field. You give up big plays in those type of situations. These 4 linemen, somebody's got to get in there and get on Jeff George today.
That's a quick start.
Yeah.
3rd and 5. George looking downfield for Kaufman, and he'll step out of bounds, and that will be a sack for the San Diego Chargers, a 6-yard loss, and someone's doing a good job downfield for this San Diego defense.
Well, a lot of people did a good job down the field, but watch when Jeff George goes out and rolls to his right. And look down to the bottom of the screen. You'll see Napoleon Kaufman running down the sideline. Jeff George wants him to stop and come back. He never does. Jeff George says, well, let me just run out of bounds.
The other thing, too, is Lou Bush, number 58, just knocked Tim Brown on the ground and wouldn't let him back up.
2nd punt for Araguz. Eric Metcalf at the 26. Oh, another mistake in the kicking game, and Araguz covers it at the 10-yard line. San Diego takes over there. High snap went right through the hands of the punter Araguz, who's had his problems as the holder on extra points and field goals.
You know, I want to tell you something. They only pay you to do one thing as a punter, and that's to catch the ball from the center. Look at it. It's right there. It just goes through his hands and hits him in the head. I mean, pay attention.
Terrell Fletcher makes sure that he doesn't get up.
Well, it's a perfect snap, a spiral. I tell you, that had some heat on it, but I'm sure he's used to catching those.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's your only job is to catch the ball and kick it.
It's got to be something psychological now with Araguz. I mean, he's dropped so many snaps on extra points and field goals. He's even thinking about it now as he's back there punting.
So a break for the Chargers, the first in this game. Eric Metcalf on the reverse, and it doesn't get much at all. As Perry Carter, replacing Terry McDaniel at the left corner, makes the tackle. Well, back to Araguz and his problems. The holder for kicker Cole Ford, and they've had some difficulties this year. Week 4 against the Jets, Ford missed an extra point and 4 field goals, 1 blocked and returned for the game-winning score. Last week against the Rams, trailing 14-13, Araguz again had problems with the hold. The Raiders did go on to win the game, but missed another extra point. 2nd and goal. Inside handoff, and it's smothered as Terrell Fletcher didn't come close to the line of scrimmage. Russell Maryland there to say hello.
I'll tell you who else is up there as a safety. Lorenzo Lynch, number 43, is up. Take a look at this along this line of scrimmage. There is just absolutely no place to go. And look at these guys. I mean, they are all in there. Here comes Lorenzo Lynch. I mean, this is just terrific defense.
It was a trap inside. Tony Birdie, the right tackle, doesn't get over there quick enough.
Worst in the league in the red zone, Phil Simms. Only 1 touchdown in 11 chances inside the 20. And they certainly start out sluggishly here. Shotgun Humphries, something he's never done in his college or professional career. And it's almost intercepted into the arms of Lorenzo Lynch. Flag is down. So is Humphries. And it's holding against San Diego. That'll be declined by Joe Bugle and the Raiders and bring on the field goal unit for San Diego.
You know where Lorenzo Lynch makes his mistake? He would have had the interception if he comes to the ball like a receiver should.
75 offense. Penalties declined.
That's on 30. But watch Lorenzo Lynch now, number 43. You watch what he does. He sits and waits on the ball. You see him sitting there waiting. If he goes to the ball, he catches the ball. That's what they teach a receiver. They ought to teach it to a defensive back.
Yeah, that's right.
So 1 for 12, San Diego in the red zone, and that is starting to really gnaw at Kevin Gilbride. Davis to try a 30-yard field goal. John Carney is injured, and Davis knocks it through. The veteran of 11 years in the NFL from the Citadel. It's San Diego, 3-0.
When they look at this thing, and if he gives that ball away, look at here.
Kenny Shedd, I think.
If he gives that ball away, there's nobody back to this side. I mean, they're setting up something.
Well, they're trying to set up Desmond Howard to get him free, but he's running so fast, you can never hand it off to somebody running that fast.
Yeah, the last guy handed off running that fast was Simms in his youth in New York.
Wrong.
Remember, he used to charge to that handoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, neither one of you can talk about speed.
We had speed. We had speed.
Lip speed. First down at the 24 for Jeff George. He goes long. Incomplete to James Jett at the San Diego 30. Time for an update. Let's go to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick, final seconds of the Giants-Dallas game. Troy Aikman wants to spike the ball for a shot at a game-tying field goal, but the players don't get set. Time runs out on him, and to add to all the problems, an illegal procedure call against the Cowboys to end the game. The Giants win it 20-17, Dick.
Big win for the Giants, 2017 over Dallas. 2nd and 10. Hit hard, almost lost the ball as John Perella shot through to make the stop for a 1-yard loss.
Well, this is a game that we thought was going to have no defense, but so far, both sides of the ball, the defense is dominating. And just look inside John Perella, the defensive tackles. Sean Lee doing a good job getting up the field. John Perella makes the tackle in the backfield.
Beat
So much for the shootout, Dick.
Steve Wisniewski, and that's a tough man to beat. First 2 possessions, punt, and Leo Aragus fumbled the snap from center. The Chargers covered at the 10 and kicked the field goal 30 yards by Greg Davis. On 3rd and 11. Incomplete over the middle. Intended for Tim Brown, who wanted call but didn't get it. Terrence Shaw.
They wanted holding on Rodney Harrison.
Well, they wanted holding, but watch Terrence Shaw, number 29, against Tim Brown. He's right in his hip pocket. He does have his hands on him a lot, but it did not stop Tim Brown from moving forward. Just good defense that time.
Incidental holding.
Incidental.
Yeah, well, Rodney Harris trying to hit him with a flipper and elbow, and if he'd have hit him, that would have cost him 15 yards.
Eric Metcalf is at the 35. Aragus has brought some real drama to the kicking game of the Oakland Raiders. Snap and kicks a high, beautiful punt. Metcalf going to try to return it. 30. And trapped and brought down. James Folston and Orlando Truitt made the stop of a 47-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. A reminder to follow the NFL season online at NBCSports.com. Check in on all the action from the early games with stats and summaries. Plus hear from Joe Avizano of the Cowboys, Ron Zook of the Steelers, and the Eagles' Joe Wessel as they explain the art of special teams. It's all at NBCSports.com. Third possession for San Diego. Sam Humphries last week threw for a career-high 358 yards. Goes to the sidelines, and Tony Martin brought down immediately. No, take that. Charlie Jones gets 5 yards on the catch. tackled by Lionel Washington. Humphreys looked rather weak yesterday when we talked with him. He had flu on Wednesday and said he just hadn't felt well. And then the flight up, I guess because of all the congestion, he said he just thought his head was going to burst.
Yeah, and he's lost a lot of weight from last year, somewhere between 15 and 20 pounds. So he just did not look good.
2nd and 5. And off inside to Gary Brown and the Houston Oiler, who sat out all of last year and close to a first down. We go to New York.
All right, Dick, at Indianapolis, Adrian Morrell has really jump-started the New York Jets ground game. He scoots 24 quick yards here to give the Jets a 7-0 lead over the Indianapolis Colts. First quarter, Dick.
All right, Greg, 40 yards already from Morrell. He has become a real force. He's right now, you'd have to put him in the top 5 running backs in the league.
Without a doubt. I even said to Coach Parcells last week, I had a chance to see him. I said I was beginning to wonder if he still knew how to run the football. His reputation he's got about knowing how to run the ball and control the clock. Well, they haven't done it, but the last couple of weeks the Jets have really figured out how to do it again.
Miami has won today, and the Jets host Miami next Sunday. First down for the Chargers at their 41. Their first down of the game. He has Jones again. Charlie Jones from Fresno State, 9 yards on the catch. Lionel Washington will cover.
A gain of 9 yards.
Stan Humphreys this year starting slowly with this new Kevin Gilbride offense, and was injured, of course, missed the Saints game, which the Chargers won on defense, and then comes up with his best ever 358 yards last week.
Well, what happens is the offense, you're trying to learn. You go out and you think about certain plays instead of just reacting. Quarterbacks are always better when they just go out and react and do what comes natural.
The Raiders call a timeout with the ball at the 49-yard line in Raider territory, and 2nd and 1 facing Stan Humphreys.
Well, they were trying to get guys down and off the field. They couldn't on defense, so finally they just decided that Greg Binker said, I'm going to take a timeout.
Well, one of the at the Citadel, Paul, as many of you don't know, was a star gymnast. Was he ever something on that parallel bars? Kerry Strug and the rest of America's gold medal winning Magnificent Seven, they are for real, and they're reunited for the first time. John Hancock presents the gold medal gymnastics reunion. That's next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. Saturday, 4:30 Eastern, that great U.S. Olympic team.
Yo, listen, the balance beam. The balance beam.
Yeah, we know you're not balanced. We know that.
But you know, that could be an advantage.
Can't you see him on the, what is it, the parallel bars? They would
uneven. They would uneven.
They would come together with your big rear end on them.
2nd and 1. And it's Brown charging off the right side, or did Carwell Gardner get a rear ball? It's a first down for San Diego.
First and 10,
Gary
San Diego.
Brown.
Rusty Tillman, the special teams coach, going to Leo Aragus. And he's begging, just catch it, catch it. Hold the ball.
I still boggles my mind why you have someone other than a quarterback holding on field goals and extra points.
6 minutes left in the opening quarter. First down San Diego at the Raider 47. Humphreys changing plays. Brown. Oh, he gets low to the ground and skids to the 41-yard line. Brown, who sat out last year and told us that he gained up to 260 pounds and a 40-inch waist. He came in yesterday. He's now down to a 34.
I mean, I was wondering, I didn't want to ask him if they're paying this guy or not, because he walks in with old pants on and his belt. They were all baggy pants. He had a 40-inch waist pants, and he's now down to what, 34.
Lost some 40 pounds plus. That I wasn't going to say down the line that I quit football at 25. Could be a very interesting story. Humphreys guns it down the middle, complete at the Raider 23 to Tony Martin. And Martin, the Pro Bowler, has his first catch, but a flag is down back where Humphreys threw the ball. And it's going to be a personal foul on the Raiders and tack on some more yardage.
Yeah, the rookie Darrell Russell hits Stan Humphreys after he throws the football down the field. He's done this a couple times this year already. One I know for sure down in Atlanta.
Cost him $7,500 hitting Chris Chandler.
You know, you were saying about the Raiders, Phil, the defensive line. Somebody has to step up. They have to step up, but not like this. But and the thing about it,
roughing the quarterback, number 96, defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
There's Darrell Russell. But the thing when you talk about one of these defensive linemen, they really have to step up because Humphreys had all day.
Well, Stan Humphreys does a good job standing there. Tony Martin wide open on the in cut. We're talking about Stan Humphreys not feeling well. I've been in that situation quite a few times as a quarterback. What it does when you're not feeling well before the game, you just relax as you play it one play at a time, and it really helps you out.
From the 11-yard line, and a good push by that offensive line. And Brown is to the 5, a gain of 6 on first down. As Brown now with 25 yards, rushing in his 5 carries.
Well, Brown does a smart thing. Watch it. He gets in front of right behind Carwell Gardner. Here goes a fullback in the hole. If he can fit through the hole, why can't I?
Boy, that's what you call mushing the football, just getting the pile and push it forward. And again, we've already said it a couple of times, but how do you push this talented Raider front? How does he get pushed around in the running game?
Rushing offense, 1 touchdown, and that was by Eric Pegram, who was cut and is now playing with the Giants. Second and a long 3. Brown caught before he could really get it up to full motion by Mike Morton, the linebacker from North Carolina. A gain of barely a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
You know, the interesting thing talking to Humphreys yesterday was when he said, we asked about the offense, do you have it all? Kevin Gilbride's offense. He says, no, we think we only have a part of it. And he's holding a lot back until we grasp what he wants us to learn.
Well, Kevin Gilbride said when we get inside the red zone, down inside the 20, he says it's pretty conservative. I don't want to make mistakes. And that's why most of the time when they throw the football, he's making Stan Humphreys roll out either to the right or left.
Well, they're 1 for 12 touchdowns in the red zone this year. Humphreys has it deflected, and it almost intercepted. Incomplete. Lorenzo Lynch was in the midst of it. Rob Fredrickson was the man who knocked it down, the linebacker.
Well, I'll tell you what. Lorenzo Lynch gets this interception if his own man doesn't reach in and knock the ball out. Now, you're going to watch the ball go up in the air here. Now, number 43 is Lorenzo Lynch. As he's going in, watch his own man comes in and tries to take the ball away.
Darrell Russell, and it was a play-action fake by San Diego. And, boy, coaches, they hate to see, well, he's seen it before. Mistakes down in the red zone.
1 for 13. By far the worst in the league in the red zone as Davis tries the short field goal. And Davis, for the injured John Carney, knocks it through from 22 yards. 22-yard field goals, not a good statistic for Kevin Gilbride.
That's what it did, though. Really, that's what I always knew what he was thinking. I didn't have to think, wow, is Coach happy or unhappy? I found out immediately the reaction from him.
Bet you did.
Other scores today, a lot of closely contested games. 2nd down, and Kaufman hit in the backfield. Charging through is Junior Seau. He found an open gap.
You know what? This is the one thing that sets Junior Seau apart from other linebackers. His ability to rush, but I'm talking about rushing under control, because what he does is he's going into the blocker. Watch number 55, Junior Seau. He goes up in the hole. He's going to get blocked right here, but he finds the ball carrier. I mean, that just takes great, not only intelligence, but durability.
You know what else that sets him apart? $27.1 million. Signed this week, that extension. George eludes the pressure, and Brown juggles and drops another. That's 2 in this first quarter from the incredibly reliable hands of Tim Brown, unable to hang on.
Phil, this team, the Raiders, just looks flat.
Well, you always look flat when you're not making plays. They're trying. Is a good job by Jeff George buying some time. Tim Brown sees his quarterbacks moving, so he moves. He finds the open hole, but he just drops the pass.
2 drops by Brown as Jeff George starts 1 for 6 and has missed on the last 5. So Aragoose to punt again. This is the 4th one he didn't get off as he muffed the snap, and the Chargers covered at the 10, got their first field goal. Good kick, very high. Metcalf at the 26. Trying to find a block. There's a clip. And Metcalf out to the 31-yard line. No flag. 48-yard punt. 6 on the return. 1 minute 33 seconds left in this first quarter. San Diego leads 6-0. Well, before the game, one of the outstanding players in this league for so many years received his Hall of Fame ring along with Fred Biletnikoff, Otto, Willie Brown, Mike Haynes. Honored as John Bankert from the Professional Football Hall of Fame presented his Hall of Fame ring. Haynes, one of the great cornerbacks of all time. In fact, he made that 75-year anniversary team, did he?
Okay, those are he's one of the corners that could play man-to-man. I mean, they just left him alone.
First down, Chargers. 6-0 the score. Terrell Fletcher. And Fletcher for a couple of yards to the 33. Fletcher from Wisconsin. And if you want to have an interesting huddle, you can just invite Terrell Fletcher in there because he can quote Shakespeare.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Paul don't even know who Shakespeare is. Could you inform him of that, Dick? He's got that look on his face.
I know who he is.
Yeah, who is he?
Yeah. Played for Cincinnati.
Bill Shakespeare, the quarterback at Ohio State. Second down and 8. Humphreys, he said, this is something else I've had to learn, to play from the shotgun. Drills it. And it'll be shy of the first down to Freddie Jones, the tight end rookie from North Carolina. They really think this kid has a tremendous future. 6'4" and 260. That's his 16th catch.
Well, watching him warm up today before the game, he looked impressive. But outside, you see Freddie Jones. And what it does, this Raider defense, that some of the corners are beat up and they're not real deep anymore. They got to play a little more zone, a little softer than they're used to. So that really plays in the hands for Stan Humphreys. Should have a little more success.
Jones, the second-round pick, 45th player selected in the draft. 3rd and 1. Actually closer to 2. Humphreys. What a catch by Charlie Jones, diving to the 48-yard line. His 3rd reception, good for 8 and a first down as we come to the end of this opening quarter. San Diego 6, Oakland nothing. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
In there nice and relaxed, found the open receiver and puts the ball right in stride for Charlie Jones. Dives for it. Good job of diving for the ball. Make sure the first down and catch it.
So here we go. Second quarter, 6-0 San Diego. First down, Chargers just outside their 48-yard line. This is Gary Brown, and Brown to the Raider 49, where it'll be 2nd and 7. What a day to be upstairs. Snoopy, of course, you know, a big fan, is enjoying today's game. Chargers and Raiders. Snoopy with co-pilot the MetLife blimp above NFL games throughout this year.
Snoopy's actually the co-pilot?
He's the co-pilot up there. What it says.
That'd make me feel safe.
Yeah. I hope they have parachutes.
What a day. What a city. So look across from Oakland to the bay to San Francisco. We'll have some more shots of city by the bay, the other side. Humphreys off play action.
Now, there's some flags down. That's intentional grounding again. You know, you made a statement again. I mean, this is ridiculous.
It is a bad call. Both of them were. Well, that's we hadn't seen that enforced until today in other games where quarterbacks just throw it away downfield.
Yeah, we haven't had it, but I've seen it in other games this year. And
well, also personal foul.
Chop block. I got that.
San Diego. So maybe that's what it is.
And then no, they have both of them.
Yeah. Now the call here is that even though he wasn't under pressure, he didn't throw. He didn't get outside the tackle.
Passer, number 12, offense. Penalties decline.
Roughing the passer.
Personal foul, chop block. Number 63 and 68, offense. 15 yards in the previous spot. Repeat second down. Wait a minute.
Well, he's
Raleigh McKenzie and Joe Cucuzzo, the left guard. The center.
Chop block.
Look to your left.
Decline.
There it
Intentional
is.
grounding
He's
foul
engaged.
includes a loss of down. That penalty will be accepted. 3rd down.
see the thing about it is if Cucuzzo does not block him, it's okay because McKenzie engaged him first. But when McKenzie has him engaged at the line of scrimmage, then Cucuzzo comes in and hits him. That's where they call chop block. I love the call. I really do. The referee kind of screwed it up at the beginning when he said, you know, roughing the passer. Humphries, he didn't rough himself. He just intentionally threw the ball away.
But again, I'm not sure Stan Humphries was throwing the ball away. He told us yesterday they have all these read routes down the field. That time it looked like he was expecting the receiver to break out. He broke in, so it looks like there's nobody there.
After the penalty, 3rd down and 17. Humphries underneath. It's hit to Metcalf, and Eric Metcalf is to the 45, short of the first down by about 4. 13 on the play. Now the Chargers punting team comes on. Darren Bennett.
Gain of 14 yards.
Bennett with a powerful leg.
He's a little bit of Ray Guy that punted here with the Raiders, and Gerald Wilson that punted with Kansas City. Gets that leg extension and a whole lot of power.
This one just trying to hang it up there high, end over end. And they can't save it. The high kick. And it rolls into the end zone. Latario Rochelle had a chance. We'll be right back.
From the 20-yard line.
You know, there's no one else in football that can do this. Watch the nose of this football, folks. Darren Bennett drops the nose down so he gets it to go over top. Now that ball spins like a kickoff. He's the only one I know that can do it. No one else will even try to attempt that. That's on purpose.
That's his Australian rules football background. George to the sideline, incomplete for Tim Brown, and George and Brown having trouble hooking up. And in fact, a couple of passes that Brown would catch in his sleep, he's juggled and dropped in the first quarter. With plenty of time, wide open, incomplete. On this case, good defense and a slap away by Harper, and then another drop. So uncharacteristic from Tim Brown, who leads the league in yardage, coming in nearly 600 yards, and tied for the lead in catches with 37, but shut out today. George currently has missed on his last 6 attempts. The toss to Kaufman, cuts back and gains 5 to the 25. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Boy, that Napoleon Kaufman, they said he wouldn't be durable enough at 185 pounds, but he certainly has shown that he can hold up under the pounding. He said, hey, wait a minute, in high school I rushed for 5,000 yards. In college at Washington I rushed for 4,000 yards. Why shouldn't I be able?
Well, that's right, and it's so hard to get a good lick on this guy. Even when he goes inside, he's always got the angle, and you're just trying to grab something, you know, before he breaks a long run on you.
Sayao up into the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and 5. George looks downfield deep for Jet. Too long. Covered by Terran Shaw.
Well, you know, this has been nothing but 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. They had a first down on the first play to Kaufman, which was a screen pass, and ever since then, it's out, out, out.
Well, the big thing is just the pass coverage down the field by these corners of San Diego. It's enabled them to play some man coverage, do some things up front. They're not open. James Jett, he's used to running by these defenders, not today so far.
Confirmation for the Raiders.
5 consecutive times. Raiders now out on 3rd down. Aragoose with Metcalf at the 30. Very high. Fair catch. Metcalf at the 33-yard line. Pat Harlow, the starting left tackle, being taken to the Raider locker room. George would miss him. Starts 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Marlins and Braves, game 1. And here's 2 teams. Atlanta won 101 games, but Florida beat them 8 out of 12 head-to-head this year. And we'll see Greg Maddux against Kevin Brown, the starting pitchers. Humphrey starts from his 34, swings it to Terrell Fletcher, and Fletcher, nice move, and picks up the first down, goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line. 13 on the play. Lionel Washington made the tackle.
Well, you can see why the Raider defensive coaches were worried about Terrell Fletcher. They said this guy can really do things with the football when he gets his hand, and he's hard to cover here. Zone defense by the Raiders. Nobody in the backfield to cover him. Does a good job of making people miss once he catches the ball.
Out to the 49-yard line. Terrell Fletcher was picked in the 2nd round 2 years ago by Bobby Beathard. Had 61 catches last year, second to Tony Martin. Gary Brown, a big hole, and Brown rumbles to the Raider 36-yard line, 15 more yards. And every yard goes into his computer bank, because if he gets 1,000 yards this year, he also gets
money. Lots of it.
$1 million.
Just look at Raleigh McKenzie inside. Joe Sokuzo, good job of doubling down. Tony Murray, number 75, good kick out. That creates the hole inside for Gary Brown.
Leading 6-0. The handoff to Carwell Gardner, the fullback. They give him a cookie now and then, give him a couple of carries, maybe a game, and Greg Biekert makes the tackle.
They call that a bone. They throw you a bone, not a cookie.
I don't think that's big enough, what they give him to be called a bone. Well, the rushing offense has really staggered for the Chargers since '94. Of course, in the '94-95, they had Natron Means, and now down to 28th in the league with an 81-yard average on the ground.
Last week, they had a little signs of life for that running game, and today looks pretty good so far.
2nd and 6. Humphreys to the sideline, and he has a man. Was he inbounds? No. Charlie Jones was juggling as he went out of bounds. That would have been a first down at the Raider 23.
You know, when you look at this offensive line from the angle that we're looking at, almost straight down at it, you see Humphreys just throwing the ball out to the outside, and Charlie Jones is going to bobble the ball going out. You got to have control of the football. Anything you have both hands in. But look at the offense. Look at Birdie. Hold on again. You stop it right here. Look at number 75. Look at how cocked he is on the line of scrimmage. Now you know he's going to pull. So you can see in the area he does. They pull down. They run a bootleg back to the right-hand side and throw the ball. But all they have to do is key the tackle.
3rd down, officially 7. It's a bit shorter than that. Just got it off. Humphreys throws incomplete. Well covered by James Trapp, as he had Charlie Jones smothered on that play.
So that's pretty impressive. James Trapp, he came in this league. He was a safety. You know, good speed, runs around. Injuries to the corners. They put him, to the other corners, makes him now go from safety to corner, and he's really done a fine job outside.
Well, this would be a 51-yard field goal, and Kevin Gilbride says let's go for it on 4th and 7.
Somebody better cover Metcalf.
Full house blitz. They throw underneath. First down to Martin. Tony Martin with a sliding catch. Trapped to cover at the 25.
Tony Martin.
Good read by Humphreys. He saw all the pressure coming from that side.
Excellent job by Stan Humphreys. To the right, they're pressing the receivers. He sees they're off on the backside, so Tony Martin has a chance to run this route without the defender getting his hands on him. Good decision.
We also read the blitz of Eric Turner, the safety, coming up inside when then he knows it's man-to-man on the outside.
Leading 6-0, and the Chargers moving the ball well. Not this time. Stuffed is Carwell Gardner. No gain. 10 minutes left in the first half. 6-0 San Diego with the ball and on the drive.
Chester McLaughlin, you have not even mentioned his name today, and there's a reason for it. Watch this. Here's Chester at the line of scrimmage. Nothing. Here's Chester. Nothing. And he told us yesterday, Chester, we said, you know, what's the matter with this defense? Why are they, 30th? He said, well, I'm not playing well. None of us are playing very well.
And rumors that he might be traded, but he carries a high tariff and not performing all that well. On 2nd down underneath to Martin, and that's a play similar to the one in which the Chargers scored last week against Baltimore, where Martin actually ran around the linebacker, actually gave ground and caught a pass, and then out-sprinted the secondary on a 4th down play. Perry Carter made the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 3 yards for a first down. Brian Still comes in for the first time for Kevin Gilbride, number 80. It's Martin to the left, Still to the right, Metcalf slotted to the right. Fletcher in the backfield. Fletcher. Caught from the backside by Anthony Smith. Big play by Smith, the defensive end.
I'll tell you, this really is a heads-up play because you're looking at 3rd down and it is a passing situation. You know you have to rush the passer, but Anthony Smith, number 94, on the bottom of the line of scrimmage, right in here, watch what he does. He's going inside. They have a deal between the tackle and the end. He sees the running play and makes the play. That's outstanding defense.
So Davis on to try another field goal. This one will be 38 yards. He is connected from 30 and from 36.
You mentioned he's from the Citadel.
Check that. He's from the 30 and the 22. He's from the Citadel. And that one is good as well. So Davis for John Carney, one of the top kickers in NFL history. And the veteran is good on all 3 attempts. Includes the star quarterback as well.
Stan, your skin's going to get tough this year, big boy. It's going to get tore up a little.
9-0 the score as Davis kicks it short this time. And Tim Hall will take it at the 16. Keep it away from Desmond Howard, but Hall punishes him for it. He's to the 34 before Patrick Sapp makes the tackle. Well, Joe Bugle, pleased his father's out from Pittsburgh. As Joe Bugle Sr. is 89 years of age, a tough guy. He said, when I went to Florida, came home and got homesick, Dad said, you go work in the steel mills. And he worked in the hot furnaces. And another side of Papa Bugle is that he still sends his son a birthday card every year with $10 in it, just as he did when he was a kid. $10 on your birthday. That's great. Great to have him here. 89. First down, Raiders. They started well and have really been quiet since. Finally, completion of Harvey Williams out of bounds at the 41. A gain of 7. Seau covering. Before that play, this is the story of the high-powered Raiders offense, #1 in the league. First play, they gained 36 yards on a screen to Kaufman. The last 16 plays, a total of 5 yards.
All they need to do is just get a first down or two, kind of get in rhythm. When neither one's working, it's hard to get in rhythm. So that was a good first down. Now they got a chance to get things moving.
Kaufman on 2nd and 3. Scramble. Both teams had a chance to get it, and I believe the Raiders came up with it.
Kaufman got it back because it was kicked around, and everybody's trying to reach down. The ball's kicked forward, backward, and Kaufman ends up with it.
Ray Perkins, the offensive coordinator, didn't like that result. Marco Coleman, number 90, forced the fumble.
Oh, here it comes. Watch it. Watch this here. Coleman goes up and strips the ball out. Now watch. Look at the ball's kicked forward, then it's kicked backward. I mean, when you see a guy dive at a ball and totally miss it, what are you looking at?
Well, he hit his foot, and that gave it an unusual carom. And Kaufman recovers his own mistake. It'll be 3rd down and 4. George was going to change plays, and then saw the clock was down to 1 second and had to spend the second timeout. Raiders have only 1 timeout left in this half. We have 6 minutes and 36 seconds remaining. 9-0 the Chargers on 3 relatively short Greg Davis field goals. Jeff George, #1 in the league in touchdowns. And
if you missed the beginning, Phil Simms told you that you're looking at the #1 offense in all of professional football. Now, these guys right here, the guys in the black, they are #1. Honest. It says it.
3rd down and 4. And sputtering the entire half. Will George awaken it? One big play could do it. Rolling, and throws incomplete. So they'll have to punt again. Oh my! This is really a shocking development. The Chargers have a good defense, but they played this first half as if they were #1 in the league, not way down in the 20s.
But I mean, there's just absolutely, I'm talking, I said to Phil earlier, it's flat. They're flat. And you say someone has to step up and make a play. Now, the way it's going to have to happen, I think, is on defense. Somewhere on the defense, they're going to have to make a play.
Eric Metcalf with 8 kick returns for touchdowns. And his talent has bitten this Raider team when he was with the Cleveland Browns. Aragoose really nails this one. Chases Metcalf back, and fair catch, lets it go, and it's going to be held at the 1-yard line by Kenny Shedd. What a play by Shedd. And a terrific kick by Aragoose, 59 yards.
At the 1-yard line.
So San Diego will start from its 1-yard line when we return to Oakland.
We got the momentum. Chargers got it.
Offense, and you go and you practice and you watch him. I mean, he just should dominate.
Well, you can't dominate all the time. These other guys are pros. They are, San Diego. They've been getting better each week. Today they've come out. They've done a good job. And I've said a couple times, the key so far, I think the San Diego's defense doing so well. The cornerback play of Terrence Shaw, Dwayne Harper, it's been spectacular.
And their defensive line and linebackers have been doing a sensational job.
Chargers from their 1-yard line. That is Gary Brown. And shifty move, but eventually Eric Turner able to wrap him up at the 6. But he gives Humphreys some breathing room as Jeff George wonders, what am I going to do? 1 for the last 9. 2nd and 5.
Well, I mean, the Chargers came in here, and when you look at it, they're better prepared. They really are. I mean, Kevin Gilbride's got the defense so well prepared for this offense of the Raiders. You give them the credit.
Good half for Gary Brown, 49 yards. He gets it again, heads outside. And the former Penn State star has a first down at the 15.
James Trapp.
Phil, this is the fault of the linebacker on the outside. The linebacker on the outside has to stay outside.
Yes, he does. And right here, you can look outside. Nobody on force. Holmberg gets caught inside. Gary Brown does a good job. Shows you he has enough speed to break it outside when there's nothing inside.
Gary Brown had 1,000 yards with the Oilers out of the run and shoot in '93. Kevin Gilbride was the coordinator then and remembered his talent. And even though he sat out all of last year, brought him back. And there's a lot of motivation there for young Mr. Brown. And time now to check on another score. Let's go to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick, in Seattle, Steve McNair of the Tennessee Oilers fakes the pitch, gets a little time, gets a little scrambling room, finds Eddie George. George's first receiving touchdown, 10-0 in favor of the Oilers. Back in week 1, the Oilers claimed their only other win of the season over the Raiders. Dick?
It's in overtime, 24-21. Thank you, Greg. On 2nd down, Humphreys to the sidelines. Caught! Tony Martin. And it is ruled a reception at midfield.
Boy, you want to talk about some total concentration by a wide receiver, Tony Martin.
2 good things happen on that play. 1, Tony Martin outside against Perry Carter, number 20. Just uses his speed, makes Perry Carter stop with a little move, then just outruns him. Perfect throw by Stan Humphreys. And also, good pickup by the Chargers offense. It was a blitz. James Trapp was picked up on the outside, enabled Stan Humphreys to go down the field.
Martin was a college quarterback at Mesa, Colorado, drafted by the Jets and released, has become a star receiver. Humphreys batted in the air, almost intercepted by one of the big linemen, number 98, Kevin Johnson, I believe it was, after that one.
Well, Darrell Russell, number 96, the rookie. He's the one that gets penetration, knocks the ball down. Look at him. There he goes. Big man can jump. Knocks us free. This is 3 of them so far today. Stan Humphreys, when you're a quarterback and that ball gets knocked up in the air, you just go, man, I know it's going to be intercepted. So he's been fortunate.
Is it because he's just throwing too low?
No, because they're in his face. Okay. He doesn't have a good.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
4 minutes left in the half. 9-0 San Diego. On 2nd and 10, Brown trying to get outside again and bounds. Knocked out of bounds at the 43. It'll be 3rd and 3. Lorenzo Lynch made the tackle, and Gary Brown now with 67 yards rushing in this first half. That's almost as much as the Chargers have been getting a full game.
And the same thing happened on the play a couple plays ago when we saw Holmberg, the number 57, the outside linebacker. You cannot, as the outside linebacker, let the runner get outside of you. Your job is to turn things back in. You can't get hooked inside.
194 total yards, San Diego. 40 yards for Bugles Raiders. 3rd down and 3. Humphreys underneath, incomplete to Charlie Jones. That was going to really be a big play, too, and a flag is down as Jones had nothing but open territory up the middle. It's against Oakland. Oh, now Ron Blum's had some problems.
Penalties decline.
Against offensive interference against San Diego. You saw Blum shake his head. That's a couple times he's gotten his directions off. So 4th and 3. And Kevin Gilbride not going to gamble here, going to send in Bennett. A very long field goal attempt. And Bennett, let's see if he uses that end-over-end technique where he drops the point of the ball down. Almost blocked.
That is awesome. He did it again.
And this time it's downed. As racing downfield was Torrin James, the rookie from North Carolina A&T. Let's see where he first made contact.
Hey, Paul, I'm watching this technique. Bennett drops it nose down, makes the ball go up, just like you say. It's like a kickoff. It spins end over end, and it's backwards, so it bites in the. Why don't more punters try that? Because there's nothing worse than to watch these punters kick in the end zone when they got the ball on the other team's 40.
Just remember something. Dick alluded to it. This is the Australian rules football. That
I understand.
I mean, how many guys, if you hit that ball on the toe like that,
it would hurt.
Down, not only hurt, but you can miss it. I mean, this guy practices all the time. It's hard to do.
Well, it's an awesome technique.
So the Raiders start from their 8-yard line. They need something big here to go into the locker room with some momentum. Their offense has been suffocated by San Diego's defense, and Kaufman may have gotten a yard at best as Gouveia and company make the tackle at the 9.
Well, you got to look back to that last possession by San Diego, starting basically from their own goal line. They get it out past midfield. If you're on offense for the Raiders, you're over on the sideline going, at least we should get good field position this time. We should stop them. But look where they're starting from.
That's why their defense is ranked last. The Raiders.
So far, Kaufman has only 10 yards rushing on 7 carries. He's averaging 5.4. Chargers jumped offside.
Well, also you got movement at the end of the line. Pat Harlow, who went off the field, is back, and he moved. But the defense on the top side, if they got across and made contact before Harlow moved, it's against the defense.
Neutral zone infraction, number 55, defense. 5 yards with each second down.
See, you can actually go across. You can actually go across, but if you don't touch anybody and you come back. Now here's Sayal. But it shouldn't be on Sayal 55. He didn't get across the line of scrimmage. It was up in the middle of the line.
Sean Lee, number 98, jumped off sides again.
So second down and 4. And George looking for something big. Fires to Jet on the side, and Jet out of bounds at the 28-yard line. First down for the Raiders. Stops the clock with 2:20 left in the half.
You know what I really don't understand is why they not throwing the ball to Rick Dudley, because I'll tell you why. Lou Bush, number 58, is covering him man to man. They're putting a linebacker on Dudley.
So Jet, who has 5 touchdown catches in 5 games, that's his career high. And they're using him a lot as a decoy, as he'll just blow deep and try to open things up for Dudley and Brown and the other receivers. Remember, Oakland with only 1 timeout left in this half, and don't get a play off before the 2-minute warning. So with 2 minutes left in this half in sunny Oakland, California, it's the Chargers 9, the Raiders nothing. Grandmother of quarterback Jeff here to need this real bad. She's there, I think, 2 minutes to go, down 9-0, hoping that her grandson can deliver a big play. That last pass to Jet was the second first down for the Raiders the entire half. They had a first down in their first play of the game. 2 minutes to go, 1 timeout left for George. Screen it to well read, and out of bounds he goes as Norman Hand, the former Miami Dolphin, picked up on waivers by the Chargers this fall, makes the play.
Oh, Norman Hand. You know, you talk about a great play for a defensive end. They don't usually get involved in pass plays, but watch 96 in the white. Norman Hand. Look at him get to the outside. He forces Napoleon Kaufman to go out of bounds.
He saw that the whole way. That time he was actually, believe it or not, just stood up. He was like a spy defensive lineman, so the screen fooled no one.
At 313 pounds, he was an eclipse for Kaufman. He couldn't see where to go. Second down and 15. George to Jet, but he doesn't get out of bounds at the 27, short of the first down. Terrence Shaw giving him room for the short one. Raiders will hurry up with the clock reading 1:40.
And 3rd and 8.
Yeah, they don't make this, then the Chargers might have a chance. They've got all their timeouts left. has his first catch of the game. It's good for 20 yards. And now there's hope for at least a field goal.
21 yards.
They've got a minute 14 left. George complete to the 40-yard line to Tim Brown. Michael Swift, extra defensive back, makes the tackle.
They have plenty of time. It's just under a minute. They only have one timeout. But they really, will he spike it here? Yes.
And that stops the clock. 51 seconds left in the half. Grinder at halftime. You'll get all the scores and highlights. The Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Messrs. Gumbel, Collinsworth, and Weich will be in our New York studios with all the key information.
Second and 10 from the 30-yard.
Tampa Bay's unbeaten year ended at Green Bay, but after Green Bay ran up a big lead, the Buccaneers made it tight. Second and 10. Could be big if the Raiders would come up with a touchdown here in the final minute after they started their entire half. Lots of time for George. Shovels it away to Fenner. Flag down. The veteran knows how to get out of bounds and does to stop the clock at the 28-yard line. Now the penalty is crucial.
Could be holding on Terrence Shaw against James Jett. At least James Jett says so.
43 seconds on the clock, and it's against the Chargers. Illegal use of the hand.
But didn't you like what Fenner does? You know, these guys, the fullbacks, they don't really usually touch the ball very much, but he is smart enough to know when I get the ball.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 38 of the defense. Foul occurred prior to the pass. Penalties declined. First down, Oakland.
That is Harper. But when you see what Fenner does, I mean, he hasn't really touched the ball as a receiver. He's just an outlet. Jeff George is looking downfield. He has no one to throw to. He sees Fenner, just flips it to him. But watch what Fenner does. He's going to get the first down. He sees where he has to go to. It's a first down. Stop the clock. Perfect.
George is hit and dropped for the loss as Rayleigh Johnson logs his first sack of the season. Johnson was the fastest of the down linemen for San Diego at 4.7 in the 40. A 9-yard loss. 30 seconds left in the half. George step up with the ball, and it goes as an incompleted pass apparently. John Perella twisted George, and George kind of let it fly out underhanded, and they call it a pass.
Well, I'll tell you, if George could have gotten by, Perella makes a great play as a defensive lineman. He gets a hold of Jeff George, but if George gets just that one more step, he's got the whole field wide open for him to throw or run. Watch Perella, number 97. He's the guy that gets George. If George gets up, there's nobody in front of him.
He was trying to pass it to Fenner. Third down. 19. George scrambles away and goes to the end zone. Incomplete. They're going to call interference, and the Raiders have a golden opportunity at the 1-yard line as James Jett interferes. Terrence Shaw with a penalty.
Oh, he grabs Jett, and you know, you wonder if this ball is catchable, but with a guy like Jett, you know it's got a good chance of being catchable.
29 defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. First down on the 1-yard line.
The ball was catchable. James Jett, Jeff George makes this play happen by buying the extra time. Look at that left hand on the back, pulling, holding the receiver. And the judgment of the referee, now there's no doubt he was pulling. You can see the jersey.
I mean, what makes you think in the middle of the field you're going to get away with something like that?
But the key was Jeff George bought the time, stepped up, and when you step up as a quarterback, look down the field, try to get the big play.
They have one timeout left. 19 seconds, first and goal at the 1. Kaufman, no, a fake to Kaufman, the throw in the end zone, incomplete to Harvey Williams. Williams lining up at tight end this year.
You know, I'll tell you what this play-action pass does, though. It sets up anything you want to run down here. You're on the 1-yard line. They ran a play-action pass. They have 15 seconds, and they do have one more timeout, so they can make a running play out of this.
Well, it was a good job of the defense. This would have had to have been a perfect throw over the top. Jeff George couldn't take a chance of having that ball intercepted, so he throws it to the back of the end zone.
That's George's wife, Teresa, and their baby son. the complexion of this situation. They have no timeouts now, 15 seconds left, and they score before the half.
The Oakland Municipal Zone.
At their signals crossed, James Jett came out. The coaches didn't like the players on the field, therefore forcing their final timeout. Dick,
A pair of what? Peripatetic. He's everywhere. He's at the series. He's at the baseball. He's at football. He's doing interviews. He's everywhere. He was in Valderrama.
Sims knew that. Sims knew that.
Is that like a barnacle?
Second and goal. Brown in motion. And George has it batted down. William Fuller, the veteran defensive end, got a hand up.
Well, by calling that timeout, the Raiders, there's no surprise anymore. The Chargers know it's got to be a pass, play pass all the way. You can't run the football because of the time left on the clock. It's a blitz. Nobody open. It's a good thing it was knocked down because Junior Seau was going to try to intercept that ball.
They were trying to get that ball of Harvey Williams, and I tell you right now, you're right. Junior Seau was right there. He's giving him $6 million worth right today, you know, that bonus.
Jet right, and Brown, always the man to watch, is slotted left. Now they move Kaufman out of the backfield and bring Brown in motion.
Should be a penalty.
Touchdown, Tim Brown. My, oh my, what a catch.
Now, did you hear Sims say there should have been a penalty? Why?
Absolutely. He had two people moving on offense. I can't believe the referee, they're standing right there and nobody called the... Oh, they might have got it.
Now a flag is thrown, but well after the situation. There was no flag thrown during the play.
You're absolutely right, Dick. There was not a flag during the play.
81 was in motion, did not reset prior to the snap. It's an illegal shift. 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
Great call, Sims. And, you know, that flag was awfully late, though.
Well, I think the other officials did see it. Napoleon Kaufman is moving. Tim Brown is going to take off before Napoleon Kaufman is set. Tim Brown, that's his job, to make sure everybody's set before you go in motion. Did not see Napoleon Kaufman behind him.
So third down with 7 seconds left. Time for one more pass play for Joe Bugle's Raiders. Kaufman sent to the right side this time with Brown left.
And it's got to be a quick pass because they want to take, if they don't do this, they'll take a field goal because they need 2 scores anyway. A touchdown and a field goal to win the football game. I know we're only in the first half, but they would take, this has got to be a quick pass.
I wonder what they're discussing, though, the officials right now. And I didn't get to see who threw the flag. They walked into the huddle, and I just saw somebody pick up the flag and hold it above his head.
It was the line judge on this side.
Now, he didn't call it because he was the guy I was looking at.
Yeah, but he called it late.
Oh, did he?
Here it is.
There is no 10-second runoff because the foul did not prevent the ball from being snapped. Third down.
So you run off 10 seconds at the end of each half.
That's right. I forgot the rule. That's right.
Which would have taken the Raiders right out of a scoring opportunity.
This is a 30-second timeout.
So San Diego will use one of its timeouts with a 9-0 lead in jeopardy. Time running out in the half.
Got a taste.
The 1. Now they're down to 3rd and goal from the 6. Would you like to have a little more room? The 5-yard penalty gives George more room in which to operate.
No, let me have it at the 1 because I can get rid of the ball a little faster. As a quarterback, it makes the defense declare what it's going to do quicker, easier for the quarterback the closer you are in these situations.
George throws, incomplete, and no flag. Tim Brown said, hey, he's all over me. Terrence Shaw, the man who was ticketed for the interference, and now on 4th down, Aragus and Ford come in for the field goal.
Good play call by the Raiders. Good defense by the San Diego. They call this a fade stop. He's going deep. Throw it behind him. Tim Brown, it's a good job. It's good defense, too. A little aggressive.
A little aggressive.
So Aragus into hold for Cole Ford, a 24-yard field goal attempt. Those of you who follow the Raiders know they've had their troubles with Aragus catching the ball cleanly. And this kick is up, and it is good. And even at that, he didn't spin the ball.
Yes.
He had to hit it into the laces.
Well, the ball, when the ball came back, he hit him right in the hands and went to the ground. He picked it up. I mean, this ball comes back, and he just pushes it to the ground. Watch this. He doesn't take it cleanly. The ball's down on the ground. He doesn't get the laces where they're supposed to be in the front.
Well, a game where we expected a high-scoring action has become a game of just field goals. The Chargers have 3 of them, and the Raiders finally get 1. We'll be sending you to our NFL NBC studios right after this.
Rebound from 2 and 4s. I don't think you can say either one of these teams is one of the top 4 or 5 teams in football right now.
Kenny Bynum joins Eric Metcalf as going forward. One of the stronger legs in the league, but this one comes up short. Metcalf to the 21-yard line. Tim Hall made the tackle, 16 on the return. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Dick. Well, I spoke to Joe Bugle, and he was very upset with that last call at the end of the half. He said it was a very bad call. You're supposed to throw the flag at the time of the infraction, not after the play is over and the extra point is lining up. So he was very unhappy. He said our defense is being very good today. They're keeping us in the ball game. We've got to get them off the field, though he fears they'll be tired in the 4th quarter. As for Stan Humphries, he told me his head is very clogged up. He's having trouble playing, but he wants to continue. Dick?
All right, Jim, thank you. Humphries suffering from the flu and a heavy head cold. That's really bothered him. A headache, earache, you all know how that goes. He's trying to play in a football game as well. Leading 9-3, first play of the second half. Changing his play. Goes to Gary Brown. Yardage to the outside, about 9 to the 30 before Perry Carter, Russell Maryland, and Eric Turner can make the stop. Brown was 67 yards in the first half, now is 76, and Napoleon Kaufman, one of the leaders in the league in rushing coming in, has only 10 yards. Kaufman with 544 yards in the first 5 games, averaging well over 100 a game.
And averaging over 5 yards per carry, about 5.5.
2nd and 1 for Humphries. He has the first down and the 33. Mike Morton made the stop. Humphries versus George. Here are their first half numbers. Stan with 127 yards and George with 101 yards. Most of those coming, as you see in the last drive, 58 yards when he went 6 for 11. Prior to that, he was 2 for 10. Working on the resided infield area here in Oakland. They just put that side down on Friday. It's holding up remarkably well. Humphries down to his tight end. Complete to Freddie Jones, and the rookie from Carolina is to the 38-yard line before Turner and Lynch can make the tackle. 29 yards on the play.
When you start running the football, what happens is the defense has to bring a secondary guy up. He was back here. He comes up. Then watch Freddie Jones come down the seam, and he's wide open because of that. And it's a perfect throw by Stan Humphries to the inside. But the running game of the Chargers is the reason why that safety was up and leaves this big hole in the seam for the Charger offense.
Well, when Freddie Jones gets that big body to block up the defensive man, he has no chance.
Has had trouble fumbling the ball this year. Bobbles the snap and has to eat it at the 39. Lance Johnstone, the defensive end, on top of him.
You know, you were talking about Gary Brown. If he gets 1,000-yard season rushing, he gets $1 million bonus. I said to him yesterday, I said, you better look out when you get to 998, because they're going to pull you out.
That's quite an incentive. That is a major. That's got to be in bold print, that clause.
I'll tell you what surprised me about Gary Brown so far today. I didn't realize he had the speed to still bounce it outside, and he's done it about 3 times.
2nd down, 12. Tries
4 times.
This time behind a good shielding. Has another first down as he skips out at the Raider 24-yard line. 15 more yards for Brown.
Phil, I'm going to tell you what happens is, again, the linebackers. We talked about him before. Rob Frederickson, number 53, at the end of this line, you watch what happens to him. Not only does he get blocked inside where he shouldn't,
14 yards,
but then he falls down on top of it.
Nobody in the outside for the Raiders to force a run inside, but also the offensive line for the Chargers getting the blocks on the defensive line and staying with them. They can't shed the blockers of the O-line.
What a day for Gary Brown, working on a 100-yard afternoon. As on top, Humphries to Martin. Incomplete. Knocked away when it appeared he had a touchdown as Perry Carter. Solid defensive job. It appeared he was beaten.
Well, you know, what I liked about what Martin did on this thing, he slowed down enough. He knew the ball was not going to be overthrown into the end zone. So he slowed down enough to get Carter to kind of pass defense, and he didn't.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. Watch Perry Carter. He's beat. Dick, you're right all the way. He sticks that left hand out because Tony Martin stuck his hands out. And as soon as that receiver sticks him out, get that hand up in between them to knock the ball down.
24. Had the ball taken away by Russell Maryland. Maryland shooting through, was there with a handoff. The Chargers have not been able to celebrate a 100-yard rushing day for 24 games, the longest streak in the league. Since Natron left, no 100-yard rusher.
And here they are again, down deep in Raider territory, and they're struggling again. They do very well from their own goal line out to about the 20, and then everything falls apart.
5 receivers and shotgun Humphries. In trouble. Throws incomplete. He is lucky to get that one off as Chester McLaughlin came shooting through. So Chester makes his presence felt this time.
Well, Raleigh McKenzie, number 63, the center, I think is trying to get out to Chester. Chester just gets around the guard, and you see Raleigh McKenzie's already been by him. That wasn't his man to block. He was just trying to help out. Chester McLaughlin is the guy that screwed up this play. But when you think about it, look, here they are again kicking another field goal.
43-yard attempt with Bennett holding for Greg Davis. And it is good. So Davis 4 for 4. Carney, before he injured his knee, was 7 for 7. So the Charger kickers a perfect 11 for 11. And it's now a 12-3 game. All field goals thus far as Davis kicks it off. Desmond Howard at the 8. To the 29-yard line. A reminder, the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 under the command of captains Marty Chandler and Doug McFadden. This year Snoopy is proud to celebrate his 10th anniversary as co-pilot of the MetLife Blimp. From all of us, happy birthday to old Snoopy.
Raiders from the 29.
How old is he?
10. An equivalent of human years. That's like 400 years old. He is.
Georgia quarterback.
Boy. She's beautiful.
At the 29, George Kaufman. And here's a knowing that Kaufman had only 10 yards rushing. They want to get him ignited, but gains only 1.5 yards on that play.
How scary is this, folks? And that just shows you how good the defense of San Diego is playing. 4 downs, punt, drop, snap, punt, 3-3, and then the final when they get a field goal at the end. I mean, that's incredible. Great defense.
Brade Perkins, a new papa just before the start of the season. Baby daughter. Intended for Tim Brown. He was in a crowd of white jerseys. Bush and Harrison right there to pop him.
Well, Tim Brown, he had to protect himself a little that time because Rodney Harrison, number 37, he sees it right away. He's driving, slant pattern, tough ball to catch, but if he would have caught it, Rodney Harrison is going to give him everything.
Harrison is 6 feet, 200-pounder, and has had a brilliant season, by far and away the leading tackler for the Chargers, and has 2 touchdowns, one on a fumble recovery and one on a 75-yard pass interception. Third and a short 9. There's protection for George, dumps it off, complete. Kaufman in the open field. No one's going to catch him, I don't believe. Kaufman for a touchdown. A 70-yard touchdown. George to Kaufman, and the big play Raiders announced that they still have that capacity.
But I want to tell you one thing that would happen with Napoleon Kaufman. As soon as he caught the ball, Phil, he was gone. He did not hesitate. He just ran straight up the field and just took off. Terrence Shaw was the only guy that really had a shot at him again, but he cuts that off. But I'll tell you what, the move that he makes, which was no move at all, except straight up the field, is what enabled him to get a touchdown.
Try for point, and he just has squeaked that one through. It's 12 to 10. Just a little dump off to Kaufman, but he has an open field. And there's no speed in the defense to counter Napoleon's trip to the end zone. Big play offense has struck again. 70-yard touchdown. And look at these plays before today, over 50 yards. And they add another 70-yard score, the first touchdown of the game, and it's 12 to 10 as George and Kaufman hook up. Cole Ford sends it into the end zone, and Metcalf will take it at the 20. Go back to the touchdown, and the San Diego Chargers defense unable to stop Kaufman.
Well, it's a blitz by Rodney Harrison on the outside, but watch Kirk Cavea. He's the only guy I can see that should have Napoleon Kaufman. He comes out of it. He looks deep. Oh, nobody's covering the back out of the backfield. A quarterback's dream. Dump it off and watch somebody run for a long touchdown.
But when you watch him again, you know, when he makes that commitment to go straight ahead, I mean, it was just, he saw the hole, took it, didn't even hesitate. That's right, Napoleon. You didn't.
Saying hello to his mother in Lompoc, California, down near Santa Barbara. Now that awakens this crowd in Oakland. Humphreys to Brown. And Brown through a hole. Still on his feet. Churns it out to the 37, a gain of 17, and Gary Brown is over 100 yards, 110 yards for Brown today. He breaks the longest streak in the league without a 100-yard gain.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's some great blocking in this offensive line. I mean, Brown does a nice job of running with the football, but the line blocking at the point of attack is just incredible.
Tony Birdie, he was the one responsible for pushing everything to the left, let Brown cut back to the right.
To Jones, the tight end, Freddie Jones. Of course, they have the wide receiver, Charlie Jones. Greg Biekert makes the tackle, and it's a short gain out to about the 39, maybe 5 yards.
You know, this Freddie Jones, he's what a quarterback, you would love him. Big, runs well, good hands, goes over the middle, easy to find. When you get under pressure as a quarterback, you look for that shortest receiver or the one closest to you. He's not short, and try to get the ball to him.
The shortest, biggest receiver.
Shortest, biggest, that's right.
Forward progress to the 42 at 2nd and 5. Long throw for Charlie Jones, and he makes a gallant try at the 25. 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that was a pretty good throw because he had Greg Biekert in his face, number 54, and that ball hangs out there pretty nicely for Charlie Jones. Look at this. He almost makes the catch.
It was a double move to the outside. Lionel Washington, number 23, does a good job, but Charlie Jones keeps hustling, almost comes up with a catch.
3rd and 5, and the Chargers have made good on only 1 third down in the game, 1 for 9. Shotgun Humphreys to the sideline, complete. First down to Tony Martin. 7 yards on the play, and the Pro Bowler Martin, threat, you have to give him ground, has 5 catches for 75 yards.
Well, Dick said it right. You got to give him ground. You got to respect him going up the field, especially late. All the big passes he's catching, and Perry Carter gets fooled by that little move going up the field.
You know, I think a lot of defensive backs think, especially for the Raiders, after what Martin did last week, 3 long bombs, and you got to respect his deep speed.
49-yard line, first down. After the big play by the Raiders, pulled them within 2. Again running right, and is close to the 45-yard line before safety Eric Turner can come up to make the tackle. 5 yards plus on first down. Gary Brown showing some speed, showing some moves inside and outside today.
Okay, right now the Chargers are very happy he came back.
Kevin Gilbride with a relationship with him back from the Houston days. That's quite a find. The backfield wide open is Jones again, and the tight end has a first down at the 20. Make that the 34-yard line.
I know you have to respect Tony Martin. I mean, I agree with that. You do have to respect him, but to this extent, I mean, you want to see somebody wide open. Take a look at Freddie Jones. But look at inside, Tony Martin. Everybody's covering him.
Yeah, Rob Ferguson says, well, they won't throw it to the tight end. They're looking for Tony Martin.
I don't think so.
And Freddie Jones led all rookie tight ends with 15 catches and 2 touchdowns coming in. Now it's Brown's turn. He has a hole. Brown to the 20, to the 10, to the end zone. No, out of bounds at the 1-yard line. He started to celebrate too soon.
Boy, Gary Brown, I think he's finally gotten in game shape because he looks quick today. He's running. Last week he had a good game against Baltimore. And again, the right tackle, Tony Birdie, Frank Hartley, number 89, the tight end, open up the hole. And the man turns it on. You know, he thinks he's got it.
A gain of 32.
And Turner knocked him out of bounds at the 1.
All right, here's where they knock him out of bounds. It's where the ball is, and it doesn't cross the goal line. But, you know, Jim Gray, talking to the coach, says we got to get our defense off the field. Joe Bugle said we got to get our defense off the field. They're not going to last, and they're getting pushed all over the place.
First and goal from the 1. They trying to score from inside that 20-yard line. Not on first down. Worst record in the league. They've had the ball inside the 20 3 times the first half. Did not score a touchdown. Had to settle for 3 field goals. And it's starting to eat at the inner stomach wall of Kevin Gilbride.
Well, when you get down here, you've got to win the battle at the line of scrimmage. You know, you just take a look at it. They are not winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. When you look at Von Parker, who is the tackle, push back into the backfield, you're not winning that battle.
Second and goal from the 1-foot line. Brown again. Touchdown. And he certainly earned that little cherry on top of the Sunday because he got the job done all the way down the field. And what an answer to a 70-yard touchdown strike to come right back and drive it.
Yeah, you're right, Dick. And do it the way they did. Just physical, overrunning the other team, the defense of the Raiders. And that's how you run it down from the 1-yard line. You follow the lead blocker. Don't get fancy. That time they follow Carwell Gardner. Big open hole.
They're going to go for 2, leading by 2, trying to make it a 20-10 game.
Now they're going to take time out the Chargers because they want to get this straight.
Gary Brown emerging as a Charger star today with 100+. They care thinking here. They're not going to go for the 2 after the timeout. They're going to go for the extra point to make it a 9-point lead.
Very smart.
And it's 19-10. Gary Brown inspiring that touchdown drive. We really will miss the Dean. Desmond Howard. They chase him wide and out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Dick. I'm now joined by Ricky Henderson, 18 years in the major leagues. Baseball continues on NBC, the National League Championship Series on Tuesday night. How do you see it, Atlanta or Florida?
I got Florida. I got the edge of Florida. Atlanta is a great club. I think they got an outstanding pitcher staff. But I'm getting the edge to Florida for the offensive club.
And what would your opinion be on who will face each other in the ALCS with some games still to play in the divisional playoffs?
Who gonna face each other? You know, right now, you know, look like New York got a little edge. So if New York and Baltimore meet up, I'm gonna go with New York. But if New York and Seattle meet up, I want Seattle to win it.
Ricky, good to see you.
Thank you.
4 World Series. He won twice, Dick.
Boy, he really terrorized the opposing pitchers and catchers on this turf. Deflected his Georgia screen pass. That's similar to the play that they started the game with Napoleon Kaufman going 36 yards. John Perella, solid effort from the tackle Perella today. He's been in Georgia's hair all day.
Junior Seau is really slow getting up about the 35-yard line, and he's limping back to the huddle.
He was way downfield, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He went down. There was a screen, and Pirelli got his hand on the ball. And I don't know if
Well, he's playing with a broken left big toe, suffered last week, and he's still in the lineup today. How tough is that?
Well, $27 million tough.
Hoffman caught. Sayal right back into the thick of it. Got a piece of him.
But they had to get helped up in the middle of the field. Now look at him.
Watch Junior Sayal. This is what he does so well. He finds little holes in the offensive line, somewhere where he can run through and make plays. That's what he does. He makes plays in space, not necessarily beating the other guy physically, just running around, using his speed and his athletic ability.
But he walks back to the huddle to the line of scrimmage like he's half dead.
Yeah.
He makes a great play.
Grew up as an outstanding basketball player as well down in Oceanside, California. He was like the player of the year in Southern California. George guns it, incomplete. Sayal was in the traffic pattern again, intended for Tim Brown, and Jeff George having his roughest game of the season.
Well, that time, Jeff George, he's just backing up, falling away from where he wants to throw the football, and I know he has a really strong arm, but watch this. As he goes back, never really gets set, throws the ball and kind of lets his weight fall backwards. It's always going to come up short when you do that.
And he had a time to step up, Phil, and make the throw.
Well, you know, that's one thing that happens when you have such a great arm. You don't think about getting set a lot of times. You let your arm, you know, give you some bad habits, and Jeff George will fall into that category every once in a while.
Aragoose to punt from around his 5. Metcalf inside the Chargers 35. High, a little shorter this time. Metcalf. Well covered by the Raiders. Timeout. 4:31 left in the third.
Kevin Gilbride. In the veteran leadership of Stan Humphries and Junior Sayal, the Chargers do hope to get better.
Humphries deep drop the throw. Lots of time. Goes to the end zone. Touchdown, San Diego!
Gilbride's genius on offense could bring San Diego success in 1997.
It's freezing.
That attracts interesting partners. This time it's Harrison 37 San Diego, Kenny Shed 84, and Kenny was tough to shed.
Ooh. Oh. How long did it take you to think of that?
Just, you know, it's an act.
Rolled right up.
You mean if you think about something first, that's wrong? Here's Gary Brown working on a sensational day. Mike Morton stops him after a yard gain. 150 yards now for Gary Brown as you see the late scores. The Jets by 10 at Indy. Arizona leads by 6. Tennessee and Seattle up in the Kingdom tied at 10 as they start the 4th. Here it is 19-10. San Diego. 3 minutes 58 seconds left in the third quarter. Humphries. Complete to Charlie Jones, and Jones has a first down out at the 46-yard line. Well, the NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com, all the scores and statistics, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores in action. Plus chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars. It's all on NFL.com. First down at the 46 for San Diego. Raiders last in the league in defense. And Brown ducks the young rookie Darrell Russell, who had him in the backfield, and Brown just ducked under his bid, and Greg Biekert made the tackle after a gain of 4.
Well, Darrell Russell's trying to make some things happen. He's a young rookie, but he gets across the line of scrimmage. The problem is once you get through, now you got to be able to find the ball carrier. Here's 96 Russell. He gets through. Now here's the ball carrier. Brown going right underneath him. Gary Brown. And picks up another 4. He's on his way to 200 yards today.
More importantly, he's only 12 yards away from 500, halfway to the middle. And he has become the workhorse with San Diego, close to another first down at the Raider 43.
Dick, now we saw Russell on the other side go through, right, and has the ball carried. Here it comes the other way. Chester McLaughlin, 91. He's through. There goes Gary Brown. He can't get to him.
But if you notice one thing, when you keep watching these replays, they're running around the blocks a lot of times, and that makes it so hard for them once they run around to make that tackle. The runner's, going full speed. He can break those arm tackles they're putting on him.
All right, conversely, if you're playing straight at it, playing your man, playing gap control.
Gap control, there's no, that's what you would want to be doing. Gap control, you can't get those 90 runs through there for 6 and 8 yards. You give up 2 and 3 yards at best. Then you can get the offense in a passing situation. Then you let it go and you try to rush the passer.
See, Dick, once you don't play the defense and stay, everybody has a lane. Everybody has a place to where they have to be. If one guy doesn't get there and they happen to be running in that area, it's over. You pick up 8, 9 yards.
Right.
First down again at the 43. Humphreys to the sideline to Jones, and he was open. Not quite there.
The thing about it is, and Joe Bugel touched on it with Jim Gray again, is this defense has been on the field an awfully long time. People say, well, so is the offense. Yeah, but the offense, these guys are just kind of walking around. But these defensive guys are moving to the ball all the time. All the offensive guys don't have to, Only a few of them do. But all the defensive guys have to move.
I mean, guys like quarterbacks and linemen, they don't have to do much.
No, just hand off and walk away.
San Diego, more than 2-1 in offense. Loaded on the right side this time, and they run Brown left. Breaks a couple of tackles, flag down, and so is Brown at the 40-yard line. And one of the Raiders, Turner, indicating face mask, as if one of the blockers got a hold of a Raider mask.
Or Gary Brown might have used a stiff arm. Yeah, seen that call quite a few times this year, where the runner uses that straight arm and gets in the face mask.
Face mask, 43 defense, 5 yards from the end of the run. Repeat second down.
Now that's Lorenzo Lynch. He almost had 2 interceptions right at the beginning of the game. Didn't get either one of them. And now he gets called for a face mask.
Now you get a man that's built the way Brown is. They list him at 5'11", appears to be shorter with that power and all the leg power. He's just trying to grab at anything.
Goes up, and you can see that's just barely hit the face mask.
But the reason that's only called 5 is because he hit it, let it go.
Right.
If he would have turned his head and turned the ball carrier around, it would have been a 15-yard penalty.
Second down 2. Brown, no gain. Well read by the Raider defense. Less than 2 minutes left now in the third. And a third down and 2 for San Diego.
I just watched Darrell Russell, number 96, the rookie. And, the play was made at the line of scrimmage. He actually did not make the tackle, but he was in on the play. He's fired up. He's trying to get this defense fired up.
He's playing full speed, though. He's playing with some enthusiasm. He's doing an excellent job. He's the only guy so far that I've seen in the defense that's just playing all out.
And then dropping for a 1-yard loss. So that's the best defensive stand since early in the game. They stopped the Chargers on 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 2.
Well, see, here's the difference when the defensive line takes it to the offensive line. Take a look at the guys on the top of the screen. Watch these guys take the offensive line. They take them back to the runner. And when you take them back to the runner, that helps you. Mike Morton, number 50, was a linebacker that got back in the back, disrupted everything.
Here's Bennett again in that position to use that point down kick. End over end. And a fair catch at the 8-yard line by Desmond Howard. Well, a big weekend coming up in 2 weeks on NBC. Saturday we'll start off with Michael Jordan and the Bulls taking part in McDonald's Championships. That'll come to you from Paris, France. And then the great college rivalry, USC Notre Dame. And then the World Series opener in prime time, all on NBC. That's 2 weekends away. What a lineup. They mark the ball at the 9. Raiders start there. The one long drive at the end of the first half began at about the same spot, you'll recall, all the way to the 1-yard line, but had to settle for a field goal. No mistake about number 55. His dad turned 55 when he was a sophomore at Southern Cal, so that's why he picked that number. George underneath, Dudley the tight end. Chuck First down at the 17-yard line, but Kurt Gouveia. Dudley, we talked to him yesterday, and Paul matched mitts with him, and wow, does he have a pair of hands?
Well, you know, the interesting thing about him, is that he was recruited to Ohio State as a basketball player. And he didn't play football. It really started until, what, the 7th game of his junior year.
That's when he started. The 8th game of his junior year is when he got his first start at Ohio State.
And then it's the #1 draft choice. A year and a half later. That's amazing.
But they feel he's just going to be a superstar someday. Downfield incomplete, and a good defensive recovery by Dwayne Harper, the veteran from South Carolina State. And that takes it to the end of the 3rd quarter. San Diego leads it 19-10. We'll be back after these messages. This is the #1 offense in the league, and they've been held to 7 first downs. Trailing by 9. Hoffman. Coming up from the secondary is Greg Jackson, former teammate of Phil Simms with the New York Giants.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Greg Jackson, you talk about when you're committed to make a play, watch what he does.
Well, it's a good job by Greg Jackson. Look how far he has to go. But once he sees that it's a running play, he comes up, forces from the outside, full speed, makes the tackle.
Well, that's sensational play by the defense.
And a loss. Back just outside the 16. Kaufman now has carried 10 times for 9 yards. Aragoose on 4th down to punt it. Metcalf stands at the Charger 40. Whoa. That was close to being blocked. Metcalf dances, gets a block. Down at the 44, and a flag goes down.
A lot of them. A lot of flags.
42-yard punt. Might have been Michael Swift, 38. He's changed his number. It was 27 until yesterday. Swift, a one-year man out of Austin Peay.
Chargers are backing up, which is a great indication it's against them. You know, when you study as much as I have, you see
38 on the receiving team during the return. 10 yards.
Swift was a little too swift.
And you're going to be splitting atoms before your career is over. Timeout. The Chargers lead it 19-10 in the 4th. The 4th, and look at that possession time, nearly 30 minutes to 16. San Diego over Oakland. Humphreys goes on 1st down. Charlie Jones tackled at the 43, a gain of 8. We go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Dick, in Seattle, what a day Steve Broussard is having for the Seahawks. He earlier ran 77 yards for a touchdown. This one's good for 43 yards. The Seahawks missed the extra point. Their lead over the Oilers is 16-10. Plenty of time to play in regulation, Dick.
Broussard, who played in Pullman at Washington State, having a big game. 2nd down and 2. Chargers leading 19-10 here in Oakland. Chargers won last year in Oakland, and then the Raiders won down in San Diego. Yuri Brown, and they've cut off the corner now on Brown. He was making hay on the outside most of the game. That was rookie Darrell Russell, along with Greg Biekert.
Darrell Russell is the guy that makes this play. He doesn't make the tackle, but watch what 96 does to the offensive line. Look at this. He takes him all the way back to the backfield. There's just no place to go. Man, is that a great play by a rookie.
21-year-old rookie. Southern California, Darrell Russell.
You know, when you look at these defenses, Phil, I mean, they're just playing basic defenses, right?
Both of them are. Neither one have taken chances today. They're just hustling, especially San Diego's defense, just doing most of it with all hustle.
3rd and 3 for Humphreys. Hit from behind, and down he goes. First time Humphreys has been sacked today. Chester McLaughlin got him. McLaughlin, who had only a half a sack through 5 games.
Chester. Number 91, Chester McLaughlin. This is just determination to get to the quarterback. But, you know, Phil, Humphreys just sat there and waiting for something to break.
Nobody opened down the field. That's what caused the sack that time.
Darren Bennett can kick the full field. This time almost blocked. Sends a twisting spiral toward Howard, and it'll be down at the 18-yard line, but it's Laterio Rochelle. Timeout. 12:05 left. 20-10. The winner goes 3-3. The loser falls to 2-4 in the AFC West. Jeff George starts at his 17-yard line. Good time over the middle. The tight end. And power through that straight arm and a 9-yard gain. Darren Shaw, the tackler.
Well, this is something you got to do against the Oakland Raiders. Ricky Dudley, good speed up the field. You got to play off of him and play zone. And Jeff George doing the smart thing, throw it underneath, and that was a straight arm.
He hit Swift right in the mouth.
2nd and 1, hurrying up are the Raiders to the sidelines. Flag down. If it counts, it's a first down at the 35-yard line to Orlando Truitt.
Darren Shaw, the tackle.
Holding on the Chargers.
Holding. 38 defense. Penalties decline. First down, Oakland.
Swift better go back to his old number. Because he had 1 penalty on a special team, and now he got him for holding.
In the slot there he is, Paul. Michael Swift.
Oh, look at this slap by Brown. That's not a bad arm slap. I don't see the holding.
I didn't either.
James Jett, the receiver. 11:20 left. George to the tight end Dudley. Chargers are loosening their defense, and George taking what they're giving him. Close to another first down. Harrison made the tackle.
Dick, you know, they're really not loosening the defense up. They've been playing this most of the game, but the Raiders have been going down the field with it. They've been, you know, playing into the strength of the Chargers defense. Go underneath until they come up and pressure.
Another first down. Now Napoleon Kaufman just jumping like he's going to go into the pool to the 50-yard line.
Well, Napoleon Kaufman went as far as he could possibly go forward. Then he realized, wait a minute, there's no room in here for me to do anything. So I'm going to just leap for a couple. And he did and got it.
2nd down, long 5. San Diego recovers. John Perella, who's had a big game in the defensive line for San Diego, able to find the ball, but it was Seau who forced the fumble. His 3rd forced fumble of the year.
It's really nothing tricky. Coming from the quarterback's right, from the left of your screen, Junior Seau just comes around the outside, not blocked. Jeff George never sees him.
Junior Seau, you talk about quick. Now nobody steps up to block him. I mean, they don't even have anybody out there trying to get a lineman out of the line of scrimmage. That was Lincoln Kennedy to tackle. There's no way he can get to Seau.
No, you know what it was? It was a good defensive alignment. They couldn't get the free offensive lineman to come out and block Junior. No back in the backfield to help out either.
Well, the 43 of the Raiders then. Humphreys goes to work. Dishes it off to Gary Brown. And Brown, he makes 2 men miss, and he's inside the 35. Elsewhere in the NFL, let's go to New York.
All right, Dick, in Indianapolis, the Colts have come to life. From a yard out, Marshall Faulk dents the New York Jet defense for the touchdown. With the extra point, the Colts are within a field goal. 13-10 Jets, 8 1/4 to play in the 4th, Dick.
All right, Greg, Colts looking for their first win of the year. Meanwhile, the Chargers, this would be an upset for them should they hold on to the lead. Have it 2nd and 1. And Brown into the teeth of that defense, and I don't think he made it. It's going to be close.
You know, one of the things that amazed me about the Chargers all day long offensively. Now, offensively, they played with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers in the back, the majority of this football game. Phil, they had not changed anything, and yet the Raiders have not been able to really stop them.
Well, sometimes you just get beat. Your men are better than the other guys across. I mean, that's what's happened today. The Charger offense, just like their defense, playing a little harder, doing nothing fancy, not trying to trick them, just going straight ahead.
And it all starts, Dick, in the offensive line and the defensive line. If you're gonna control a ball game, it's got to be done with the big guys up front.
Well, yeah, always. It's who wins the games usually. You win the game by your big guys beating up the other guys' big guys. So that's how you win football games in the National Football League.
I like that. Big guys on the big guys. Don't pick on the little guys.
Kevin Gilbride, who started his career as a head coach at his alma mater, Southern Connecticut State. First down, Kenny rookie from South Carolina State. And he is stopped for a yard loss by Russell, Maryland.
All the Chargers want to do here. Bynum almost fumbles his football because he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. Here's Bynum. He's got 2 hands on it. And then the ball comes out. You see the ball is fumbled. He goes back and gets it. It's hard to see. It's hard to believe the guy fumbles the ball with 2 hands on it. Yeah, well, Bynum goes and sits down.
Well, they bring back in Gary Brown, and that's what you should do. He's been in there all game carrying, and he's got the rhythm, and you put somebody in there for a play, and those things can happen sometimes.
Second and 11, draw to Brown, and he's hit in the backfield, and another loss. Beekert and Fredrickson, the 2 backers, in to make the stop. The clock runs to 8:17 left in the 4th.
That's the most important part of this thing is that the San Diego Chargers right now are controlling the clock. I mean, yeah, they want to get first down. There's no question about that. But you watch Stan Humphrey and the San Diego Chargers will let that clock run with down 2 or 3 seconds on a play clock before they have to snap the ball. And they'll be well inside 8 minutes.
Probably out of field goal range here, so Humphrey's hoping he can pick up some yardage. Shotgun. Screen. Fletcher. Wide open field. And he's down to the 16-yard line in the first down.
This is a screen that Kevin Gilbride has been running ever since he's been coaching offense. He started it when the run and shoot down in Houston. He took it to Jacksonville. Bring Terrell Fletcher up top. Acts like he's blocking, and then the person who's covering him, the offensive line, comes out and blocks him, and that's why he's so wide open. It looks like nobody's covering him there.
There's only one guy in the middle of the field, and that was Mike Morton, number 50, Phil. And once they blocked him, it was all over with. There was nobody in the middle of the field.
20 yards on the play. Now it's Brown. And he fights his way to the 15 and just inside the 15-yard line, and the clock running now under 7 minutes. Joe Bugle's team losing in overtime in the opener to Tennessee. Then he lost that heartbreaker at home on Monday night to Kansas City on the last play of the game. Kansas City scores on a 31-yard pass. And then he outplays the Jets totally and misses 4 field goals and an extra point, and the Jets beat him by 1. Lost by 1, and by overtime.
Well, today, there's no doubt. So far, they're losing this battle from start to right now with 6.5 minutes to go. They're losing it physically on both sides of the football.
Here come the Chargers up on a play clock. He might have to call timeout. They're going to get... Now he gets it down to 1 second, Humphrey.
Incomplete, but the Raiders have the Chargers right where they want them, in the red zone.
You know, I don't understand. I don't understand that call. But I mean, the man was wide open.
Wide open.
He was wide open, and he missed connection. But again, that stops the clock.
Well, it does, but it was a good call, Paul, because you're down there. The Raiders are trying to do everything to stop the run. You get single coverage outside with Tony Martin and Charlie Jones. You got to take a shot every now and then.
3rd down, a long 8. 6:17 left. That's Eric Metcalf in motion. Humphreys to the end zone. He's open and incomplete. Metcalf had broken clear from James Trapp.
Well, Eric Metcalf comes across in motion. Lionel Washington has him man coverage. He's on the outside, but doesn't really anticipate the ball is going to be thrown his way. If Stan Humphries would have waited just a little bit longer, that would have been a touchdown.
And you're allowed to hold close to the line of scrimmage if you don't get caught.
That's right.
33-yard attempt by Davis. And Greg Davis, pickup when Carney was injured, is 5 for 5 today. And the lead now is 22-10.
6 minutes and 7 seconds.
And Jim Gray, 6 minutes plus left, and the Chargers with their 5th field goal open a 22-10 lead. And Davis sends it right to the 1-yard line. Howard keeps his toes in bounds and then pays the price at the 15-yard line. Greg Jackson, another big hit for the Chargers. Well, today the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 2 providing an aerial view of the Chargers-Raiders game. A dedicated crew of 15 travels with a blimp. Snoopy 2 does not require a home base. It's constantly on the road, logging over 60,000 miles a year.
That field goal was absolutely huge for the San Diego Chargers because now it forces the Raiders to score 2 touchdowns instead of a touchdown and a field goal.
That means you got to get the ball at least 2 times.
Yeah, that's true.
From the 15, Jeff George. His first off day with the Raiders. Underneath he goes to Ricky Dudley. Good move by the big tight end, and he has a first down at the 26-yard line.
Now the goal for this Charger defense, just don't give up any big plays. So play smart, let them catch it underneath, make the tackle, and try to make them eat up as much clock as possible.
George to the sideline to Tim Brown, and he's tackled by Dwayne Harper. Harrison assisting. No huddle for the Raiders.
Well, see, Tim Brown right there should try to get out of bounds, but he wants to make something happen. They're all trying to make something happen now, and usually when they try to do that, you end up making a mistake.
5:10 left in the 4th quarter. The Raiders have all 3 of their timeouts left. Now, we saw a lot of that last year, but not this year. The young man has really matured, and he's living up to all the expectations of Al Davis and the Raider organization, and picking him #1 out of Ohio State. He was the 9th player selected a year ago. Has 5 catches today.
You know, Phil, he said to us, you know, he had a lot of pressure on him as the #1 draft choice, you know, a rookie, and things that we expected him to do. And just kind of calm down.
Yeah, you're right. But I think what happened is he dropped a few passes last year, and then he said, I felt the pressure, knew everybody was talking about it, and that caused him to drop a few more.
George changes the play as Rodney Harrison comes up to the line of scrimmage. Barely got it off. It's an incomplete. Kenny Shedd, the closest black jersey, and that'll bring up 4th down and 3. So they made 7 on first down. And then 2 incomplete passes, and they'll go for it. This is the game right now.
The game. And that was a wonderful job by the Charger defense. They came up, they bluffed the blitz. Jeff George, it looked like it. I thought they were going to blitz. He checks off. They drop back in another defense. They had no chance of having a successful play, him checking off so late.
I'll tell you one other thing that's happened. This defensive line with the San Diego Chargers, they are exploding into the offensive line, and they're taking the linemen back. And I didn't think I'd see that against the Raiders offensive line, but it's happening.
George needs 3 and doesn't get it. And the Chargers take over on downs. Lou Bush, the linebacker, covering Harvey Williams, the 2nd tight end. And for Grandma George and the rest of the Raider fans, this has been a very disappointing day. The Chargers defense holding the #1 offense in the NFL to 10 points. Timeout. Brown protecting the ball as he charges to the 26-yard line. Let's take a look at the Miller Time game summary. Greg Davis, 1 shy of the San Diego record. Carney kicked 6 field goals in a game 2 different times. Gary Brown with 163 yards rushing. The unexpected, the Browns 163 yards running, and maybe more so, 12 yards for the game for the Raider team rushing. That has to be close to a record. They don't have that in their media guide, but you can't have a much tougher day on the ground. So from Oakland, let's go to New York and check on what's happening elsewhere. It's a chance to go for the golden ring. 22-10. San Diego. 2nd down and 3. And Brown to the 22, and that'll be enough for a first down, it would appear, at least where they've spotted it.
Now, the Raiders took 1 of their timeouts just a moment ago, and they've down to 2. Bobby Beathard, the general manager of the San Diego Chargers.
Bobby been under some heat this year. Start of the season with a new coach and a team that didn't look very good coming out of the gate, as New England just killed them 41-7. Then the next week they beat New Orleans, but they didn't really do much on offense. Then they lose to Carolina at home 26-7. So the offense really had scored just a couple of touchdowns in 3 games. And they were saying, well, did Beathard make the right call on Gilbride? And did Beathard make the right draft picks? And how about Gary Brown? Was that a good choice? He fumbles here, but it's recovered by Alfred Papunu, the tight end.
Bobby Beathard and I played on the same team in 1960 with the Los Angeles Chargers. He was a defensive back.
People forget that he was a terrific athlete. Still is. And his brother Pete Beathard, of course, was a star quarterback at USC and in the City Chiefs.
Gary Brown fighting for that extra yard. Greg Beekert, number 54, knocks the ball out.
They reset the clock at 3:34. And timeout called by the Raiders. And we'll remind you to join us again for a full slate of regional NFL action next Sunday, 12 noon Eastern, with the NFL on NBC. Dan Marino and the Dolphins, happy after their victory over Kansas City today, will take on the Jets. The Jets still fighting to beat Indy in Indianapolis. The Bills will take on Bledsoe and the Patriots, or it'll be Cincinnati and Tennessee. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on NBC next Sunday at 12 noon Eastern. These are the standings at the start today in the AFC West. Denver unbeaten, Kansas City losing today. It is updated now, and Oakland and San Diego not updated at 2 and 3. This is the time where you tell Brown they don't go for the extra yard or two.
That's right.
Go down.
The most important thing is hold on to that football.
If there's one mistake he made, that would have been the only thing he did wrong today.
He's had about 175 yards for the game. He said he was afraid to call Joe Paterno at Penn State, sitting home and eating those Philly cheese sandwiches and
pizza.
He said, I knew what he'd tell me. Get in shape and get back in the game. And he said, you know, finally I kind of heard that in my own mind, and that's what I did.
Well, what could be better? I mean, what could be better than being a running back and playing in the NFL? And going and working for a living is too hard. You know, do this. It's a lot more enjoyable.
Third down. And 8, and Humphreys waits for the clock to get down to 1 second, then uses the timeout. Each team now with 1 timeout. I'd like to remind you folks watching this game that following the action, most of the stations, a massive volcano erupts, and one man risks every
time. Charlie Jones actually lined up on the wrong side, so Stan Humphreys had to bring him back over, and the clock was running down. He had to call timeout.
Third down, Gary Brown burrows his way down to the 15-yard line. Chargers will see the Raiders spend their final timeout at the 15 as Greg Davis comes on. Here's a guy just picked up out there for anyone, and John Carney's injury. Bob Beathard picks Greg Davis, and if he makes his field goal in only his third game with the club, he will tie the all-time San Diego record with 6 field goals in a game.
You mentioned he's from the Citadel, didn't you? Did you mention that? Yeah?
Are they the Bulldogs, aren't they?
Citadel Bulldogs, that's right.
You know, he actually holds the all-time record in punting there, too. The longest punt. You were a punter at the Citadel, and he also had a better average at the Citadel.
No one
your
had
alma mater, by the way. That was that your
No one ever had a better average.
You want to bet?
Oh, he did?
How about 44.6?
I had 44.7.
It's in the book, big boy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They don't.
Anyway, this is a 33-yard attempt.
He graduated too, Paul.
That's true.
His mother, a physics doctorate in physics, is the one who taught him aerodynamics and how to do just this. 6 for 6. The Chargers haven't missed one this year. Carney was 7 for 7 before he injured his knee.
It's good.
It's a 25-10 game.
Remaining fourth quarter of play. San Diego Chargers 25.
Well, I wonder if we could see some of those earlier field goals. Yeah, I think we can. Here's number 1. He's kicked them from 30, 22, 36, 43, 33. And now another.
I think John Carney is just about well.
Carney was, by the way, broken Ralph Bernurska's record for most points, most field goals, and just a week ago, really one of the grand guys in the NFL in his years and since. Bernurska inducted into the San Diego Charger Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him.
They got nothing. I'd say John Carney is one great field goal kicker. And, you know, what a headache you're going to have as a Charger. What do? You got two guys.
You wait till he gets really, really healthy.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, there's no hurry, and that's a good thing. I mean, John Carter is, like you said, Paul, he's a wonderful kicker, and there's going to be a job for him.
Raiders without a timeout. The 2-minute warning have 2.5 minutes to try to find a way to score 15 points. Howard has the capacity to get 2 points in a hurry, and he breaks into the clear for the first time, and it was Davis who saved the touchdown. The kicker, Davis, blocks him out of bounds at midfield.
This is something I taught him when he was at the Citadel. And what I taught him was, when you see the runner like that, give him the sideline. Don't let him get outside of you. And watch what Davis does. I mean, he really does save a touchdown. Davis is up on the left-hand side of your screen. He's going to come in on Howard. But watch what he does. He gives Howard no place to go. If you're going to cut back in Desmond Howard, he's going to cut back into the Chargers. What a great play by Davis.
Where do you go to school, Phil?
It's the Citadel. He went to the Citadel.
I asked Phil.
Okay, I want to know. They know it. You ever hear anybody from Morehead State?
George from Purdue, then Illinois. Atlanta, now Oakland. Down at the 44. Fifth time he's been sacked today, and Ray Lee Johnson gets his second after being without a sack the entire year. I'll tell you that Darren Bennett talking with Davis, he'll hit you.
That's what they were talking about. They were proud of it. They got the toughest kickers in the league.
George underneath. Dudley, another catch. He's got a half dozen in the game at the San Diego 49, and that'll take it, perhaps, unless they hurry, to the 2-minute warning. Bush and Swift the tackle. And George to get a play off. 2-minute timeout. Chargers on 6 field goals and a big running game from Gary Brown, lead by 15. Gary Brown with the 5th best rushing game in San Diego history, 181 yards today for the former Houston Oiler, who was out of football and at one point figured he'd never play again just a year ago. From the 49, the Raiders with 2 minutes to go and no timeouts. George incomplete to Tim Brown at the 35. And they had 2 men on Brown, and Rodney Harrison thought he had a pick. Darted in front of the receiver.
Well, Rodney Harrison's continued his good play. He's had a wonderful day making tackles, and he's been back and he's broken up quite a few passes, and what he's done best of all in pass defense, he's watching the quarterback and making good breaks and getting to the football.
Some pretty interesting names. You saw Gary Brown. He's now 5th. Gary Anderson is the all-time rusher, 217. Keith Lincoln, Brad Hubbard, and Paul Lowe are the only men who have rushed more than Gary Brown's 181 today. Down the middle. And caught at the 25-yard line. Harvey Williams makes the play at the 25. A 23-yard play and a first down with 140, 139. Still time for 2-point plays, and
tried the old
Brown. Was that going to fake spike?
Fake spike. He was making the signal that we're going to spike the ball, but he tried to fake it. Defense wasn't biting into that.
Yeah, they're going to cut. Tim Brown and Rodney Harrison got mixed up again, and Tim Brown, I don't know who they're going to call this on. Harrison's pointing at Tim Brown. Tim Brown pointing at Rodney. Gary Fenner is in the middle, taking up all the slack.
Personal
number 34.
foul, unnecessary roughness, 81 offense, 15 yards, repeat first down.
That's a frustration foul.
Well, all day long, I bet you these San Diego Charger defensive backs are going to see Tim Brown give the push. The referee sees it. That's a penalty, 15 yards. But all day long, think about it, all week long, these Charger defensive backs were probably sick of hearing about how good this Raider passing game is. And every time there's been a tackle, whatever, I've noticed they've gotten up, given the push. They want these Raider receivers to know they were ready for them today, and they have been.
There's another thing, as you see, Brown, 3 catches, 3 drops. You know, he has a remarkable record with the 3 catches. This makes 36 straight games he's had 3 or more catches, but the 3 drops plus the fact that he's been tightly covered all day and pounded on. He wanted to give an answer, and he wasn't too happy about the Notre Dame result yesterday either. Took Chester over to the Stanford campus to see the game. George looks to the end zone and is hit from behind and is sacked again. The Chargers, who only had a handful of sacks, have their 6th today. Marco Coleman gets that one.
Let me tell you something. If there's ever a time in a football game or any year the defensive lineman loves to play, it's right now.
That's right.
They know this guy's got to go back and pass every single time. They don't have to worry about any run responsibility. Just go back and kill number 3. And they got him again.
31 underhand completion to Fenner. Fenner tackled at the 34-yard line, a 13-yard gain. Harper and Sayal the tacklers. And that brings up
Harper on the tackle.
3rd down and about 18.
To the 33.
To the end zone. The jet. Incomplete. Darren Shaw covering. And Jet comes up holding an arm. So it'll be 4th down. Last chance now for George and the Raiders to make a statement. The other part that we should include here, the Raiders have a lot of rivals. I mean, they have everyone in the West, Denver, Kansas City, but their real rival is San Diego if you live in San Diego. The Chargers consider this their game, but the Raiders figure, hey, everybody considers us a rival. But this is a game where the community of San Diego, the Charger fans, get very emotional about beating the Raiders, and the team has played that way today.
Well, and Kevin Gilbride told us yesterday, you know, the Charger offense, are starting to get his offense. I mean, people just think, well, hey, it's just an offense, you know, it's easy to learn. It is not easy to learn an offense.
A lot of reads. The quarterback trying to read the same thing that's in the mind of his receivers. George spins out of traffic, throws incomplete to Brown. And the Chargers take over on downs. And now with 32 seconds left, it's just one kneel down, and this game is over.
Dick, I think you said it right, though. The game just looked like it meant more to the Chargers today, and that little added emotional edge has made them play harder, prepare better, and that's the reason, one of the reasons why they won.
Well, you know, and you knew some things were going to happen in this ball game, because right off the bat, Tim Brown drops a couple of balls. I mean, and things are not going right. And when you're out of sync, I don't care how good your offense is. You have the #1 offense in the National Football League. If you're not in sync on a given Sunday afternoon, things aren't going to work out for you.
And don't wander away, folks. We'll take you right to another game. I understand now the Jets in Indianapolis. As soon as this one's over, we'll switch you to Indianapolis for the conclusion of that game, with the Jets, the last we heard, leading by 6. And there's the kneel down by Stan Humphries. And Kevin Gilbride's team really shackled that man. And Junior Seau on defense, as always, leading the charge, limiting George to 19 for 42. He was sacked 6 times. Seau forced a fumble that led to one of the 6 field goals. So the Raiders lose it 25-10 to fall 2-4. And the Chargers and Kevin Gilbride seem to be getting better and better. They're